Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of G.M.E. Reviews. I'm your host, Dragon Project, and today's episode is about the MCU's Netflix series that recently have been canceled over the last few months. We'll just start from the beginning, right? Let's just start from the beginning. When Iron Fist got canceled, I was definitely confused. You know, I recently finished the latest season, and although it wasn't like one of the top tiers, I definitely thought that it was good. You know, I was curious. Luke Cage, to me, getting canceled really was disappointing. Like, it wasn't a shock, but it was just like, what? You know, just last year when the first season came out, they were saying how it broke Netflix, and then like you cancel it. It just didn't feel like it made much sense. When Daredevil got canceled, I was upset, especially after coming from such a righteous season as it did. Like, I think this new, if you guys have not seen this new Daredevil season yet, and you know, maybe are upset because of what happened, I would still recommend you see it. Like, it is one of the best seasons of the Marvel series shows, Netflix shows out. Like, I thought it was just extremely well done, twists and turns all over the place. Like, I thought that it was great. What's so disappointing too is, like, in my feed, I could see on YouTube that like so many people liked it, and then, you know, to find out that got canceled as well, I just didn't understand. I think one of the things that always kind of appealed to me about the Netflix series, of all of them, Jessica Jones, you know, Iron Fist, Daredevil, Luke Cage, was just, and you know, the possibility of more, of course, that through them being on Netflix, they had more time to develop. They had more time to grow. Like, I think Netflix, one of the great things about it is that it's a format in and of its own, right? It's like, you know, seasons can kind of be put out, and there's a level of like progression. Netflix doesn't feel like it's in the same kind of basic laws as other networks, right? This is the platform that it's coming on. You feel, or at least it feels like, you know, Netflix has the ability to kind of keep a show breathing, and until it like reaches a point to where, you know, it becomes a major hit, right? And I think that's what I was looking forward to with the MCU Netflix series. I felt as though that even if they were to have a bad season, it would still continue, right? Like, there's so many shows on Netflix that maybe have a dip in ratings, or they just kind of feel like they're just bad, but then, you know, you hear that the next season was very good. So what do? You go back and rewatch all the season, you know? And I felt like that's kind of the thing that Netflix has kind of established, right? It's this hub of sometimes these gems of great shows that you just don't know until you end up watching, or you end up reading a review or hearing something. And I think that the cancellation of the Marvel shows or series was just too abrupt. Like, it was too abrupt, and I'm a little worried for the future of Netflix shows, and just the idea of them possibly being able to be canceled at the whim, you know, of a meeting. And I think that whenever you're dealing with like such impactful characters, they need to be handled with care. And I think that if a studio can just cancel something like that with no explanation to the audience, or like kind of wrap up, then it just seems disrespectful. Now, I'm sure there are a plethora of reasons why, and maybe all of them were legitimate. But like I said before, like, as a random regular person, the way that they all ended, it did kind of feel like a slap in the face. I like Jessica Jones a lot, which I'm like hoping, crossing my fingers, they don't end up deciding to like randomly cancel that. And yeah, like, honestly, not gonna lie, I would have even felt better if there was some kind of tribute video to him, or like something towards it was like, hey, look, you know, we apologize to the fans and to the whatever, you know, or, you know, the characters will live on in the art of the comics, or, you know, the mediums of which they originally come from. But I do just think that just dramatic like cut it did feel wrong, and it didn't feel good at all. So those are my thoughts on the series cancellation. This video is not supposed to be a fact-based video. I know, like I said, I know nothing other than what everybody else knows. And I think that, speaking for a lot of people that I've encountered or discussed this with, like, they were shocked too. They were extremely disappointed, even if it wasn't a show that was their favorite show. But I think, even when you look at certain other superhero shows that are on other networks like the CW, Arrow has easily had some terrible seasons, like straight up terrible seasons. But through them progressing, they have bad seasons, then they have good seasons. Like, that's just kind of the nature of their show. And I think that that's what makes it so great, is that even though a season will be bad, and like, if a season is that bad, sometimes I won't even look. Like I've easily not watched 2 seasons of Arrow over the step. I think it's like 7 out now, I'm not sure. But when I hear that something else is good, or the season's kind of picking back up, I'll start from the beginning. And that's what I was hoping that Netflix was going to do. I mean, although the series and all the series may have been in a great decline or a dip, I still feel as though the cancellation just didn't feel warranted from an audience standpoint. And maybe it was, but I can only imagine how the actors feel, and just the overall vibe of like, oh well, your show's canceled, or the show's canceled. But thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of G.M.E. Reviews. It's always such a pleasure to create these episodes, and yeah, thank you guys for listening. Let me know what you think about the cancellation of the shows. I'd love to hear other opinions, other thoughts in general, as far as like what people felt. If you would like to support us, click the links below in our bio. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.
The brutal attack has been carried out by none other than Daredevil.
Who are you? I'm Daredevil.